Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be slightly different. I wanted to start incorporating a little bit more travel onto my channel because I love travel and adventure and I know you guys probably do too. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of that. So this video is all about traveling in Paris because I went recently in January and I wanted to show you the 10 things that I think you should do if you are going to Paris. So let's get into it. Before you see any tourist attractions, as with many European cities, I think it's really important to try and explore the area by foot. This is a really good idea because you never know what you're going to see, from beautiful architecture all over the streets of Paris to carousels on the side of the road and street art wherever you look. It is a beautiful city and exploring it by foot is the best way to get around when you can. Also, beware of pickpockets because there are quite a few pickpockets and people who are trying to sell you things all over the street. The first thing I recommend you see if you're in Paris is the Palace of Versailles, and this is 10 miles out of the center of Paris, so it does take a little while to get to, but it's so worth it. You should plan your journey in advance and go in the morning. That way you have a whole day to look around if you want to, because this place is huge and it's really grand. Everything in this place is gilded in gold and it is so beautiful and elegant. You will never see another place like this in your entire life. And it is most well known for its Hall of Mirrors, which you might have seen in loads of TV shows or movies, but I definitely recommend you go here because it is incredible. What is a trip to Paris without seeing its most notable landmark, the Eiffel Tower? It's absolutely huge and really beautiful when you see it in person. It's a lot bigger than you think it might be if you've never seen it before, especially when you get out of the metro station and it's right there straight in front of you. I would recommend the best time to go is kind of early evening when the sun is setting so that you can get up to the top. You can either see the sunset or you can see it at night when all of the twinkly lights of Paris are beneath you. I think that is the best time to go. It is beautiful and that way you get the best of both worlds. Also, a lot of times in Paris they give discounts to people under 26, so make sure you bring your ID with you. Something a little more unusual and not for the faint-hearted is the Catacombs. They are definitely an incredible sight to see. It's an underground passageway that goes on for absolutely ages. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to walk through it, and that's only part of it that they display to the public. It's full of the remains of lots of different burial sites that were moved there, I believe in the 1800s, and they're arranged sometimes in patterns like hearts and crosses, and it's pretty creepy, but it's really interesting to see. So I definitely recommend it. If you take a trip up Montmartre, you can see the Sacre Coeur, which is one of Paris's most famous landmarks. It's in the north of the city, but it's a really nice trek outside of the city, and you get to go up those famous steps. There's a lot of vendors around here selling really cheap souvenirs compared to in the city, and you get some really beautiful views from up here, so I definitely recommend taking a trip up here, if not for anything else, but for the views. Plus, as you go through all of the winding corridors and down the steps, you can see lots of different street art, which is really interesting to have a look at. So if you're into street art, there's something for you to see here too. Now, we didn't have time to go into the Louvre, but if you do have time to go, I would recommend doing that. But still, going to see it is incredible. This amazing glass structure is in between these humongous buildings. They're just cubed off and you're in the center, and it's such an incredible sight. It's beautiful because you get the modern architecture mixed with the beautiful old buildings. When you look through the glass, you can actually see the museum down below. Plus, you can get some really cool pictures here too. Another one of Paris's most notable tourist destinations is Notre Cathedral. I recommend you go in here because it's free to get in. You can leave a donation, but it looks amazing on the inside. The ceilings are so high and it's got really gorgeous stained glass windows, so it's definitely worth taking a look. It doesn't take much time, but you can also take a stroll around the nearby areas. You can check out the parks and the river. I think this is one of Paris's prettiest areas. And we can't forget the Arc de Triomphe. This is beautiful to look at from any angle, but I recommend you take the underpass. You can't cross the road here because it's that famous roundabout that you might have seen everywhere, but it's too dangerous. So if you take the underpass, you can go and take a look at it up close. You can even go to the top to the viewing deck. It costs some money to do that, but I bet the views are amazing. We didn't have enough time. Even the views from the center are just amazing because you get a view of every single direction of Paris and you can see some of the best landmarks from here too. Something I think you have to try in Paris is macarons, because that is traditional Parisian food, and you can go to Louvre, which is the most notable place to get macarons, but I found some of the best macarons on street corners and in little cafes, and they cost around €1.50 to €2 each. And what is a trip to Paris for a big kid like myself without going to Disneyland? It is the happiest place on earth for a reason. As we went in the beginning of January, they still had the Christmas decorations up, but it was much cheaper to get into the park during the middle of January, so definitely check out the times and when the cheap dates are to go. And the thing I like about Disneyland Paris is they have a ton of parades. They have them like every other hour pretty much, and they're quite short, so you will definitely get to see a parade at some point during your visit. Plus, all of the lines were so short. It really depends what time of year you go. I've been in September before and the lines are short, and in January we literally just walked onto Space Mountain and Indiana Jones. We hardly had to wait for even a minute. Going in the off season can be difficult with the weather, but you definitely get the advantage of the wait times being much shorter. It's a great day out and it's pretty cheap, like I said, if you go in the off season, and if you're a student and you have a student card, you can get a discount here too.
Fingers tapping your toes, you are humming a tune. You know, this is a new day. This is a new day. This is a new day today. Change, change, change.